This episode of What the Tech is brought to you by Slack. Slack is a messaging app which brings together all your team's communication into one place, making work simpler and more productive. Go to slack.com to learn more. Away. Away makes first-class luggage at coach prices that allows you to charge your phone on the go. For $20 off your order, go to awaytravel.com/Andrew and use the promo code Andrew. That's awaytravel.com/Andrew. Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price, because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off a select mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/Andrew and enter promo code Andrew at checkout.
What the tech?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Tech. I'm Andrew Zan, and this week, I'm doing a weekend show here, by the way. This is Weekend Andy, the Weekend Andy edition of What the Tech. I'm joined by John Pross at Front Page Tech.
What's up? I'm back. It feels so good. I feel like I'm home.
You feel like you're home.
So long.
You are dying for Paul to say, I can't do the show anymore.
Dude, I just want to know when do I become not a guest and when do I become like an actual co-host? When does that happen?
You want to be the third mic?
I mean, no, not with Paul. I mean, I'm just on so often. So when do I get like in the credits?
Yeah,
or paid, or one of those.
I could definitely do credits. You know what? Maybe you could get a couple bucks from ads too. From now on, when you
I want a $2 bill. That's all I ask. It's a $2 bill.
You want a $2 bill? I can give you that.
Yeah.
We have an interesting show here today. I'm actually going on John's show this evening. Which doesn't matter to you guys because we're not airing live this week. But I am doing a show with you this evening. Tell us about the show that I'm going to be on.
So essentially, we've told you about Front Page Tech before, my daily tech news show. We started a new podcast because I love podcasts. It's called Recycle Bin, literally how it sounds. We recycle the week's news based off of like popular demand of what the audience wants us to talk about. Since it's a longer show, it allows us to go in depth on a story or two, so that's what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah.
Don't know what stories we're going to talk about yet. I mean, we know what we talked about throughout the week, but the audience is going to decide what they want us to go in depth with, and we're going to have Andrew on the show. We're starting to have guests on the show, and Andrew is guest number dos.
I'm the second guest on the show. Wow.
The second guest.
I'm honored.
Yep.
I'm honored. I'm actually getting messages from my wife asking, should I pick up white wine, and are we tanning in the backyard after this?
Are we tanning in the backyard?
Yeah. I have my friends coming over. We're going to go tan. And, you know, I'm like an old lady from like the 50s. I have one of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by one of these? I was
what
explaining
is this? What is this move?
The shield, the metal shield where you could tan like this.
Oh, like the the thing that you put up on your car windshield when it's too sunny outside and you leave?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those. Did you like make it? Is it homemade with just like aluminum foil?
No, I bought it. I ordered it. I will not.
How much does that cost?
I paid like $15 on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what it's called. I just googled like old lady tanning mirror.
And you're gonna tan outside with your wife.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's my evening.
That's
my afternoon.
bonding.
Yeah. Guys, we do have a lot to talk about. You know, John has a very interesting perspective of tech. He is more of a YouTuber than a podcaster. And you've exploded over the last year as far as your content going and then the growth of your content, and it's very polarizing.
You know what's funny about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking about this. This time last year, you said this year was going to be my year.
Was that right?
It happened. I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
So
Listen, I'm a good talent scout.
I guess so.
Yeah. We do have a lot to talk about. Obviously, John has a couple of topics, and I have a couple questions for him because I know that a lot of times we discuss Android and iPhone usage and the comparison between the platforms, and I always find it interesting on how everybody uses what they use and why they use it. And you know, I've been in the Android ecosystem my whole, I guess, smartphone life, right? Majority of it. I was a Trio guy. I was a Windows Mobile guy, and then I went over to Android. And over the last year, I've been using an iPhone more and more. And I'm having a very difficult time adapting to Android. And I want to talk to you about that because I know you're an Android guy more than an iPhone guy now.
By difficult time attempting, do you mean you hate it?
I hate it. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why I dislike it. There's so many things that I do like about it, but I'm going to tell you, why I feel this way. But before we do, I want to talk about our sponsor, and that's Slack. Guys, I've been talking about Slack for a while, and I use it every day at work. It's kind of a disaster when you have multiple departments and multiple people that you got to fill in on information, and sometimes you don't want to fill people in on certain information. It's not important to them. The thing about Slack is that it allows you to kind of put together a different groups for different things. It's an overall communication tool that you could incorporate in your business, in your small business, in your personal use even. So for what I do, example, I have I'm in charge of the marketing department. So I have the marketing team, then I have the operations team, then I have the promotions team. So I have everybody in different groups, and I share the information amongst the different groups. You could drag and drop. It connects to it works with over 1,000 apps. You can connect it to Google Drive, you can connect it to Salesforce, all these other tools. And it is where work happens. They make it super easy and super simple to have communication amongst all different departments. To find out more, go to slack.com. That's Slack, SLACK.com. So, John, I want to talk about this. Have you been following? So, by the way, the PlayStation stuff. PlayStation 4 is dead, huh? They're done. It's over.
End of life.
End of life. That was quick.
Yeah.
What happened there? Why the
when
automatic?
When did it come out? 2013-ish?
Yeah.
I think that was the year.
I find it fascinating because they did put an updated version recently. And I didn't think they would drop the 4 name. First of all, I think the numbering...
It's interesting that they come out and said that it's end of life. Like, what company just goes... Yeah, this is the end. Like, I'm assuming sales numbers drop at that point. Like, why buy one now?
It has to drop,
dead, essentially.
It has to drop. And I don't understand the tactic that they call it final phase of life, not end of life. Final phase of life. That was the wording that they used.
Support.
Yeah, so it's near the end of life, but that doesn't mean that the PS5 is arriving anytime soon. Yeah. So this is according to the CEO. Said that the console is entering the final phase of life, but it doesn't mean that the old console will be dying.
But how long is the final phase? Is the final phase a year?
It's the prognosis could be anywhere from, I don't know. They don't know yet. That doesn't mean that the PlayStation 5 is around the corner, said the CEO of the company, which would be using the next 3 years to prepare for the next step. So what a bizarre way of phrasing this, where they're giving it about 3 years from now, and it's entering the final phase. So if I'm a consumer and I now read a title saying the PS4 is ending, would I buy a PS4? Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially if, most consumers, like you just said, are just going to read a headline.
And that's how it works, dude.
They're not going to dig deeper there. They're just going to see PS4 is dead, said CEO, and they're going to be like, well, I was planning on buying one, but I guess I'll just wait now. They don't know how long they're waiting for.
Yeah. So I think this is a bizarre... he might have gotten trapped in a question, if you ask me. So if you look at the next 4 years, we're looking at 2020, 2021, right? I would be more likely to buy an Xbox if this is the point. If I'm going in right now and I read this title, because nobody reads these articles, by the way. Nobody reads the story. We're in this clickbaity scenario where it's just Facebook headlines, you're scrolling, that's how you're reading it. Dude, I know the more clickbaity of a title I put on a show, the more hits I will get. If I put a show out saying, what the heck, Microsoft is dead, ? Microsoft, the Windows is over as we know it, ? I will get, if I did that, I would have tens of thousands of more views, because that's just how it works. This is a clickbaity headline where if you don't read the article, you're thinking, oh crap, they're starting to end PS4. The PS5 will come out within the next year. Why would I buy this?
Yep.
But instead, they're saying the next big leap won't happen until 2021, which is quite a few years from now. Yeah. So, just a bizarre story,
It feels dumb for them to, like, maybe you said maybe he did get caught up in a question and just was like, that just came out. But, like, also, why say that out loud?
Yeah. Are you an Xbox guy or PS4?
Neither. I don't
Neither.
really care.
You don't even
When
care
I was
anymore, right?
No, when I was growing up, it was definitely PlayStation.
Yeah.
I like Xbox too. Whatever, just both of them doesn't matter. I wouldn't pick one over the other. I think more people would start to sway away from the PlayStation 4 right now since it's at the last phase of its life.
Yeah. So I want to talk about some of this. I want to talk about you a little bit because you do a you do a YouTube show from Page Tech where you cover the top tech stories of how often are you doing it? Every day? Every other day?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So it's the top headlines of the day. And over the last, I guess, year, about a year ago, you put out, when did you put out that video about the iPhone? That really
October.
took everything. It was October of 2017. So you put out this video criticizing Apple. And after that, everything changed for you. But I want to talk about this.
Well, I remember because I put it out. I put out the video.
I sent you a text.
And the next morning you texted me and was like,
this is the moment.
This is it. This is the best video you've ever done. I'd be entirely shocked if it didn't go viral. And literally a day later, just hundreds of thousands of views a day.
It was put together perfectly. So, you know, I'm in this bizarre scenario where I don't use technology like most people. And I think when we,
because you're an old man.
Because I'm an old man. Well, that's also part of it now, right? 30-something years old. I'm using tech very differently than I did in my 20s. Where in my 20s, I was, you know, I was doing ROM updates. I was doing, I was updating the ROMs. I was changing this. I was changing the radio. I was doing all the stuff that most people in the tech community, if you're really techie, you do. But I no longer do that because I feel like there's no need to do this, right? Like people are jailbreaking their iPhones. How often are people jailbreaking iPhones now?
I thought we were over it. Honestly.
No,
I thought we were over jailbreaking, but there is a massive jailbreak community still.
Yeah. Well, are they doing it? What's their reasoning to do it? Are they doing it to simplify their life with applications and features, or are they doing it to pirate software?
No, they're for tweaks and stuff that, you know, Apple doesn't let you do that they can suddenly do. I mean, I understand why people jailbreak, but I'm just like, it's one of those things where I guess as a tech person, like someone that even has a tech show, I care so little about that sort of stuff. Like I just completely stay away from it. I just want, especially my phone, dude. I just want my phone to work. Like I'm not messing with anything. I'm not tweaking anything. If I want to like mess with settings and go beyond the software and tweak stuff, I'll just go to my PC. I want my phone to be reliable and not ruin it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's too much work, dude. I'm too lazy to go in and jailbreak anything.
And then you got to update the freaking thing every time. You know? God forbid there's an update.
No.
So this is where I'm at, right? I used Android and for many, many years, and I always said I don't want to use an iPhone because I feel like it would take over. I would be totally in the iOS experience then. And Android was the only thing kind of keeping me on the other side using my phone because my laptop, my regular laptop is a Mac. My secondary computer is a Mac. I have an HP that I use every day, but I'm more in the iOS in the Mac OS experience than I am in the Windows experience.
I'm curious. Actually, do you use like? Are you a Mac user like at home and at work?
Yeah, kind of, because this is my work computer. To be honest, this is my work computer, and this is my home computer. And then, but generally, I'm using my HP because that's next to my bed. So if I'm upstairs, I'm using my HP. So I'm in both environments. But at this point, the Mac is just there. Like they're both easy for me. It's the same crap, really. If you think about it, if it's just a matter of getting used to.
It's just like a hammer. Who cares?
I'm using the same app. I'm using the same apps. They all look the same. I'm using the same browser. It looks the same on both platforms. But there's one thing that really. So I went over to the iPhone as my everyday phone because of work, my work phone. So I have an S9, S9 Plus. It's a beautiful phone. Okay. The camera's wonderful. I just can't adjust back. I'm having a very difficult time adjusting back to Android. Yeah, very difficult time. It's just.
What is it about it?
I don't know exactly. I think this is a way better phone than the iPhone 7. I know it's a better phone. The camera's way better.
Than the iPhone 7, yeah.
Than the iPhone 7. Because that's what I have right now. I have an iPhone 7. So It's a way better phone. It's very fast, the phone, but it just like I'll give you an example. The fingerprint sensor, right? Doesn't work on the first try ever for me. Doesn't work. Okay, so that's problem number one.
Well,
the face
my
recognition,
issue with the let me get in the drawer here and find it. My issue, and they fixed it with the S9, but with the S8, the fingerprint scanner was by the camera.
Yeah.
So you had to do one of these numbers.
Yeah. But I just don't find this to be a natural touch for me. I always hit the bottom camera, even still on this. Bixby's frustrating. I think it's ridiculous.
Dude, forget Bixby.
Okay, it sucks.
What a waste of everything.
What a waste of everything. The biggest hurdle for me is the messaging. That there is no unified messaging right now, still, for Android.
Oh, well,
it's coming, but there's no unified message. But I want to get my messages on my laptop.
I think that's where there's a disconnect.
Because, that is the disconnect.
100%. You're definitely. I was the same way because I was an iPhone user for years and years and years and years. It was the iPhone 6S was when I left. Well, I jumped ship because, and it wasn't even because I never left because Android got better suddenly, or they had a better feature or any of that stuff. I literally left because I was frustrated in iOS specifically. Not even the hardware. I was just mad at iOS. It sucked, so I left. But yeah, that was a hard adjustment at first. iMessage, there's literally no comparison. There's nothing else like it. I think what helped me is, I mean, you and I text, but you were one of the only people that I actually text. Yeah. For texting, I use an app called Textra, which is really, really nice, very pretty.
What is
it? It's not universal. If you use Textra too, it doesn't give us an iMessage experience. It just looks better.
Okay, so is that your texting application?
That's what I use for texting, but I barely text. What I use is Facebook Messenger, and that's why I think there's less of a disconnect for me because Facebook Messenger is cross-platform. It doesn't matter if I have an Android phone or an iPhone.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I'm using iMessage all the time. Constantly, I'm on iMessage. But I'm also on Skype.
I mean, Facebook Messenger works on desktop too.
It does.
That's just what I use because you no longer worry about does this person have an iPhone or do they use an Android phone. Everybody has a Facebook account.
I think it comes down to your circle more than anything else. If we go back,
absolutely, yeah.
If we go backwards, and a lot of our older audience would understand. Before you had AIM, right? There was AIM. And that was your group.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, they used Yahoo Messenger. And for a lot of people, they used MSN. I never used
I would have put
MSN.
you on my buddy list for sure.
I would have been on your buddy list #1. But for me, it was AIM, and I used AIM only. And it was very frustrating when someone would be like, no, I have MSN, or I got Yahoo Messenger, or ICQ, for example.
Yeah, some people are just wrong, Andrew.
Some people are just wrong. So I think we're kind of in this weird position where if you are a non-iPhone user, I think it's a little bit more difficult to have unified messaging across all the platforms because for me, I'm one of these few people that really likes messaging on a desktop. I hate doing messaging on the phone. I really dislike doing that. So if I'm sitting in my office, I don't want to look at my phone every 2 seconds to send a message. I want to do everything on my computer. Yeah. And I know there are ways to do it. And I've done it. And I use the Verizon Messenger, which is terrible now. They stopped supporting it.
There's nothing like there's ways to do it, but there's nothing like iMessage.
There's nothing like iMessage. Yeah.
From you holding an iPhone in your hand is a great translation to just sitting on your Mac. It's all the same. And I agree with you. If I'm going to message you, if I'm at the computer, I'm not going to keep picking up my phone. I'm not going to keep looking away from the computer to use my phone to message you every time I get a message. I'm going to stay on the computer, which is why, again, I just got Facebook Messenger open in another tab. I'm hoping that Google can sort of rein in what they want to create as a decent universal client in terms of chatting. My issue though, Andrew, is that they've tried. Yeah. How many times has Google released not even just a chat application? I mean, what do we have now? Duo and Allo, and now
but now the
Allo's
new chat
being phased out. Yeah. My issue with Google is they release something, they make something, and then they tell us this is the future, believe in what we're doing, and then a year later they change their mind and they cancel it. Hangouts is gone.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's just
not,
like.
Well, again, it's that beta mentality.
Deleting stuff.
It's the beta mentality for Google. Throw everything in the kitchen sink against the wall and see what sticks at that point. But they have a new messaging service that's going to be coming out, and it's not out yet. And it kind of unifies, but it doesn't kind of unify. Like, I'll give an example. If I'm getting, I don't know why this happens. If my wife is sending me a text message to my Android phone, it's compressed.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, that's just how your carrier handles
That's how
it.
MMS works. Yeah.
That's because yeah, your iPhone and stuff, you're just messaging over your data connection or Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah. Which is great. I think these are the little hurdles that we have in the split universe between Android and iOS. But I don't know anybody, to be honest, majority of people that you come into, are they using Android or iPhones?
iPhone.
They're using iPhone.
And I think that's okay. Like, I'm not... there's literally everywhere I go now, for some reason, I've become some sort of polarizing personality. Like, you might notice it on Twitter or wherever. Like, I get a ton of hate.
Well, you get hate on both sides.
Like, I just popped into a live stream last night. I wasn't on it. I was just in the chat. And I felt terrible because that person's chat, they were doing a stream, wasn't about me, but I just said hi in the chat, and the chat blew up with people arguing about me, like either calling me names, and then you got the people defending me, and it was a mess. Like, I can't go into a person's chat and say hi because then it ruins it. And like, people just assume that because I talk negatively about Apple, that must mean I hate them. But most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, I would recommend an iPhone.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't agree with what Apple's doing or certain steps that they're making, and if I think they're slacking, doesn't mean that they make a terrible phone and that I can't recommend it. For most consumers, I think the iPhone serves you very, very well. I just prefer Android right now.
Okay, well, why do you prefer Android for you? What's the reason?
Cleaner.
Give me your top reasons why you prefer Android.
So it essentially catered to all my frustrations with iOS. I left iOS because it was becoming a mess. I remember when, I forget which keynote it was, when Apple introduced, I think it was iOS 10. Within iOS 10, iMessage could suddenly, like, you could do all these things with it. Mm-hmm. They threw in a bunch of new features where, like, you could have a background to your messages and
it became
certain animations to the messages, and like they just threw a bunch of stuff in there, and to me that I was like, that's not Apple. Like, that's something Facebook would do with Facebook Messenger or Google would do. Like, it's just getting messy. Everything's getting messy, and there were so many bugs and glitches, and that's why I left. And I think it was right at a time where Android was catching up in terms of how smooth it was and how functional it was, because for a long time Android just kept missing the mark in terms of fluidity. But now, stock Android is cleaner, more optimized, runs better than iOS.
So do you think...
I can still recommend iPhones, but I'm telling you, man, Android right now is sitting at a much better place in terms of optimization than iOS.
So when you look
specifically,
stock Android specifically, but how much of the Android experience is being affected for me as someone that uses a Samsung S9? You know, this is the premier phone on the market right now. This is the phone.
Yeah.
For Android. So,
but I mean, it's hitting you pretty hard. I mean, in terms of like people that fork Android the most, Samsung is up there.
Mm-hmm.
And TouchWiz, or whatever they're calling it now, has gotten a lot better. It used to be a mess. And I mean, you had the S7, right?
The S7. I thought the S6 was so much better than the S7.
Okay, so you had the okay, so you know the old TouchWiz. I think they've sort of like, since the S8, they've sort of weaned away, and they haven't been so aggressive with their own fork of Android. It's getting better, but it's still, it's still Samsung throwing a bunch of features in there, and you're not getting stock Android. I don't think any of the problems that you're having, like the fact that, you don't have iMessage and all this stuff, the disconnects are still going to be there for you even with stock Android. But I do think that, like, have you ever just spent a week with a stock Android phone?
It's been a while. Yeah.
I would recommend just trying it just for the show, just to come on and be like, this is my opinion.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I'm curious about that because I tell people about these problems that I have with Android. And I think a lot of times the people that are receptive, they're like, oh, I get it, are the ones that have a Samsung. The other ones are saying, what are you talking about? It's fine for me, are probably using a Pixel 2.
There's too much fragmentation, dude. Like, everyone's opinion of Android is different because everyone's version of Android is different at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's also part of the problem, right? The fragmentation is impossible on there. At least with iOS, you know what you're getting. Every phone is getting the same update, essentially. That's relatively new. I think that's a big player in this.
Speaking of essentially and Android, did you hear that they were canceling Essential Phone?
Yeah, and they're looking to sell. So that was quick, right? What happened there? What went wrong with the Essential?
Dude, everything. Like, so first of all, was it Andy Rubin? Is that his name? The co-founder of Android or something?
Yeah.
He's the one behind Essential Phone. It was a really well-designed phone, but the idea of what they wanted Essential Phone to be was just totally wrecked. The execution was bad.
So what was the original idea was what? It was just a clean experience.
It was just the essentials, but it was missing a lot of the essentials. It didn't have it was missing a lot of the flagship specs. It was from a brand new company, brand new device that you never heard of before, and it was like $700 plus. It was a lot of money for this new phone on the market that was missing the mark on a bunch of different things. The camera was terrible when it launched. Like, the camera was very, very bad. And I mean, you got this new phone, you got a bunch of YouTubers covering it, and they're just like, they're telling you the camera's terrible. And the phone itself missed the mark on a bunch of things. I think if they launched the phone at like $400, $500, it would have done pretty well.
Yeah, they would have forgiven.
They did lower the price. They changed the price, but it was too late. Like, it was far too late. The hype's over. It's dead. And I mean, now I think total they sold like 150,000 devices.
Wow,
and that's not enough.
That's not enough. No, it's not enough at all.
So,
but I mean, how do you survive in this market? There's a new phone coming out every week, right? I have an S9 here. LG's putting out a new phone at an astronomical price, by the way. The new LG's coming out. That's going to be the next flagship. The Note 9 is coming out, and that's not going to be a flagship, apparently. It's not going to be better than the S9. You have Huawei that has a phenomenal phone that nobody uses.
Huawei's killing it right now.
I mean, I don't know who's but you can't buy that phone. Who's buying it? Where do you buy it?
Nobody now. I mean, it's on Amazon. I think you can get it at Best Buy, and the price is like $300 something right now. So it has lowered, but like, it doesn't matter now. It's over. You missed it.
Yeah. I want to continue this discussion, by the way. I want to continue this. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor, and that's Casper. You have to try Casper, by the way, John. You need to sleep on a Casper.
To.
Yeah, you need to sleep on a Casper mattress and I think they should talk to you.
Get me in contact with Casper.
Yeah, I absolutely love these guys, and this has become a big joke amongst my employees because they hear my live reads and they go, "Do you really sleep on a Casper mattress?" I said, "Absolutely." For 2-3 years now, I've been sleeping on a Casper mattress, and it's the best mattress I have ever owned. And I'm not saying that because I'm doing a live read. I'm saying that because this is my own personal experience, where I'm getting a bizarre message right now. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Somebody just messaged me and said, "Where do I buy a Casper mattress?" So somebody's listening to this right now from Facebook and messaged me. I sleep on a Casper mattress because it's been the best mattress for my back, which I have a terrible, terrible back. And they have a great offer. For a limited time, visit Casper.com/savings. That's Casper.com/savings, and you receive 10% off your order with any mattress purchase. The special offer expires May 29th, 2018. So it's only good for the next couple of days. Obviously, terms and conditions do apply. But that's Casper.com/savings. And you get 10% off towards any mattress purchase by visiting Casper.com/savings. This is actually great because you can buy any of their mattresses. They got a whole plethora of mattresses over there. Whether you want their new mattress, the Wave, or the one that I have, the original Casper mattress, which is phenomenal. They have duvet covers. They have pillows now. It's unbelievable. It's actually great, and you get a 100-day risk-free trial. So you could, considering we spend 1/3 of our lives on a mattress, you don't think it's important to sleep on this thing before you commit to it? You can make the same mistake that I did when I bought a very expensive mattress a couple of years ago prior to getting a Casper mattress. And I did that. Have you ever gone to a big box store, John, to get a mattress?
It's not great.
Not great. So what they do, it's like buying a used car almost. They make you try these things out, and they put you on the mattress, and they're like, oh, your legs are a 4, but your feet tell me you're a 6, and this is the mattress. And it's always the most expensive mattress they start you off with. Well, I ended up spending a couple $1,000s, I mean, significantly, on a mattress because my back is terrible, and I needed something to help me. It was the worst mattress I had ever slept on, and I cursed this thing every single night. And finally, when I went to Casper, it was a great experience. Casper.com/savings. This is... it's a limited time offer, guys. Of course, terms and conditions do apply. You get 10% off any mattress purchase, which is phenomenal. Okay, so I want to continue this. So we have the Essential phone, right? Plop.
We do.
Done. Finished. What is, in your opinion, what's the best phone on the market right now? What's the best Android phone on the market that anybody could buy?
The S9.
Mr. iPhone hater?
The S9. If the Galaxy S9 ran stock Android, perfect phone.
It's a perfect phone.
But it doesn't run stock Android, so you live with that. But in terms of just the best hardware you can buy, it's definitely the S9 right now.
Yeah, I find it interesting that, and I'm not a big fan of the phone. I think the phone is great, but I'm not. It takes me a little bit longer to do everything. I feel like the notifications are.
I don't think you were ready to break up.
Do you think that's the problem? You think I'm still too into my iPhone?
Yeah, I don't think you were ready. I think that's why I was able to not look back, because I left because I was frustrated and mad at iOS. I left because I wanted away from that. You didn't leave. I mean, in fact, you still haven't left iOS, but you definitely didn't switch to Android because you hated iOS.
No, it's going to get even harder.
There's going to be things you miss.
It's going to get even harder in the next version of macOS when they incorporate iOS apps. Now you're getting really sucked in the ecosystem, and that's kind of, that's where Microsoft has kind of not done a great job. The whole point is, let me get you with this one thing, and then let me bring you on the other side with other things. And that's generally what Apple has done, and they've done a tremendous job at, you start off with the iPhone, and then you get an iPad. And then after the iPad, you buy a MacBook Air. And then you realize the MacBook Air sucks. So you end up going to a MacBook because it's pretty. And then the MacBook is really weak. Then you end up going to a MacBook Pro. And now you're 7 years into this ecosystem and you've upgraded your phone every year. You're not leaving. You're not going anywhere.
I'm really... So WWDC is what? Less than 2 weeks away?
Less than 2 weeks away.
So they're going to talk about iOS 12. And according to the rumors and stuff, they have shelved a lot of their plans for iOS 12 for all these big features, and instead are going to backtrack and refine it and optimize it just to make it a more reliable, better experience.
Okay,
if they do that, I will buy an iPhone that day.
Okay, so what were the... I'm trying to find the rumors because I really haven't followed up on the rumors for WWDC. I know that we're talking about the SE2 debut. That's another one for people that are kind of hanging on. Obviously, we're going to get watchOS 5. New iPhone hints. I don't know what we could possibly get. A redesigned MacBook Pro, Mac Pro. Are we going to get that?
You know how many iPhones there's going to be this year, right?
So we're going to have the iPhone 11. I don't know. What are we calling it?
They're going to stick. I think they're going to stick with 10. So you're going to have the iPhone 10, the new one.
Okay.
And then you're going to have
an iPhone 9,
an iPhone 10 Plus.
Okay. Which is going to be the 6.5 display, 6.2 display.
Yeah. But then you're going to get another version. iPhone 10 something.
Okay. Here we go. This is how I see it.
You might want to call it the iPhone 10 SE. There's going to be a 6.1-inch LCD model.
Okay, so from what I see,
that's going to be like $550.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So we got the SE2, we got the iPhone X2, the iPhone X2 Plus, and a cheaper LCD version of the iPhone.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a lot of phones. You know, this is
I know.
When you start supporting all of this stuff. So I guess what they're going to do, you're right, it's going to be performance enhancements, and then the excitement will be in iOS 13.
Which is fine. I've been asking for that for years, for them to just fix iOS.
Just fix it. But, you know, also, you have to look at their other lineup, too. Like, what the hell's going on with the Mac Mini? Is it dead? Is the Mac Mini finished?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, what's going on with their Mac Pro? What's going on with their terrible Mac, the iMac Pro, and all the problems that they're encountering with that? I mean, that's been a disaster.
I'm sure we'll hear about the Mac Pro this year.
It's it's time, right?
Yeah.
And then how about
they came out and said they're not abandoning it, that they're going to follow up with another Mac Pro.
Well, they can't abandon it. I don't believe that if they could have it their way, you know what they would do? The iMac Pro would be their Pro lineup. But they cannot abandon that platform because of who's buying these machines, by the way. Who's buying Mac Pros? Not me and you. You know,
no.
some studio is buying 50 of them at a time. That's who's buying it.
And Apple doesn't even have a support team in place. Like there's been so many issues where, like, since the since the Mac Pro is like such a specific line, and like people aren't buying as many of them as like a regular iMac, they're having issues fixing these things. Like, I don't know if you heard about the whole debacle with Linus Tech Tips, a YouTuber, who the iMac broke.
I saw it, and they couldn't fix it.
He tried to give it to Apple, but they couldn't fix it because, number one, they didn't have the parts to fix it, and even if they did, they didn't have the right people certified to fix the machine.
You know, the Mac.
It's nuts.
They call them a something genius, like the head genius. Like there's like a higher up senior genius in the Mac Genius bar.
Senior genius.
At every store. And they're the only ones, and some of them aren't trained, but only at flagships they're trained to be able to work on this. So I saw that one. I saw his thing. There was another one that I saw this morning where this guy, you know, you could get this
from Snazzy Labs.
Yeah, the Vera bracket.
The Vesa mount.
The Vesa mount, yeah. Where the screws that they're using aren't stainless steel. They're like nickel or whatever they are. They're really cheap screws, so they snap.
And the Vesa mount, mind you, is like $80.
It's 80, yeah. And it's by the way, it's in Apple packaging. So for people who don't know what happened, it's a mount that you can mount it on the wall. So you can mount this Mac Pro, iMac Pro on the wall. So
and you get two choices when you check out an iMac. It's either do you want the stand or do you want the Vesa mount?
Yeah, you can't get both. So it's a separate thing. So he got it with the stand, and then he ordered the Vesa mount. He took it apart, easy breezy. He put it on, and then he put it on the wall. But he took it apart because for like his review reasons, and he noticed that the screws have snapped on them. So he went to Apple, and he called Apple support, and Apple says, "Oh no, we don't support this because it's a third party." And he goes, "What do you mean? It comes in an Apple box with Apple packaging, with Apple logos, with Apple's brochure." And they go, "Yeah, but it's a third party that makes it." So he ends up, long story short, takes it to the Apple store. They destroyed the thing, the original mount, they had to like cut the mount, and they totally effed it up, the whole thing. Yeah. And the whole the Mac Pro has, you know, the iMac Pro has scratches and dents in it now. I mean, this is a company that, and by the way, they'll still get a 10 out of 10 consumer report.
Oh, of course. But I don't trust anything they say anymore. That's the issue. I don't trust anything they say anymore. We might, if you want, we can talk about that whole issue. But like, with the court case going on right now and the stuff that's been admitted and with the internal documents and stuff, it's hard for me to want to believe anything Apple says at this point. When they're like, hey, we sold this many units, or when they say, oh, the issue with this phone is very rare, only a few customers are experiencing it. I can't trust any of that anymore.
Okay, look at my story, dude. You know my whole Mac debacle, the MacBook Pro debacle.
Yeah.
I've been, 10 years I've been using these things. And this stupid touch bar version has been nothing but a nightmare. I had to go back a couple months ago because the display failed. How does the display fail and the speaker fail and the keyboard fail and the touch bar fail and then the logic
I was going to ask
fails?
if you're having the keyboard issues.
I'm not having a keyboard issues, but you know what's funny? My wife did on her 2013. So she has a 2013 she had to buy because her MacBook Air just wasn't cutting it anymore. So, the hinge, there's like if you look at it, like how this closes,
right?
It comes out a little bit on the sides. Like it's not like a total flat. That piece that was coming out, it was a manufacturing issue and it was sticking out a little too much. When she closed it, it shattered the LCD, the display.
Wow.
So she gives it back. Yeah. It was sticking out. It was a manufacturing issue where one side was just sticking and there's so little room, right? This is the room that you have.
Yeah.
Where it was just this much and it just shattered the whole display. This is brand new, right out of the box.
Awful.
So she brings it back to them. They fix it. And all of a sudden her shift key's not working. It's just flat. Her delete is not working. It's flat. She takes it to Apple. They fix it, give it back. Again, it starts again with those two buttons. And all of a sudden, one day, it just went away. Now they all work. I guess because she moved it around so much of whatever speck of dust was on there went away. The other problem, I don't really have as much of a problem with the keyboard as some other people do, but I do have a problem with how loud it is. So I'm going to do a little test here, okay? I'm going to take the gating and everything off here.
A lot of people are going to be upset with you because a lot of people watching this, I bet you, really love the loud, clicky keyboards.
Okay, so yeah, I bet. So I took all the gating off so you could hear everything, okay?
Yeah, I hear all the noises.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty loud.
This is, and by the way, I'm not stomping it. This is how I type, okay? Look. So now let's try the 2015 model. All right?
Okay.
Let's move it here.
2015, everybody.
Yeah.
There's less of a thud. That just sounds like, that sounds like keys. What you were typing on before sounds like like you can literally hear the key hitting the bottom.
And let's go back.
Sounds like you're walking on it.
It is so loud. It is so loud. I can't, there are times that I'm working in bed and my wife is sleeping and she's like, dude, why are you typing so freaking loud? I'm like, I'm not. This is normal typing. It sounds so aggressive. She's like, why are you angry typing? I'm like, I'm not. This is what it sounds like. I do think that there is a big problem with that. And it's a, I was with a couple of people from HP and they heard me talk about this. So they sent me their HP Elite, their corporate laptop that they claim is the best keyboard, which I do think is probably the best keyboard on the market that I've used. And they wrote a note saying, your wife could sleep now. Use this.
Oh, how adorable.
Yeah.
I bet the trackpad isn't as good, though.
No, the trackpad is not as good. That trackpad is not as good. I mean, it's fine.
Always
but it's not,
a compromise.
It's always a compromise. Why? Why is everything a compromise here? Why is everything a compromise? I do want to take a couple more minutes and talk to you about a couple more things here. But before we do, I want to talk about... Here we go. And I don't have the lower third here. Go ahead, John. Tell me about what you do.
Front Page Tech, the daily show. Very simple. Three tech news stories a day. I almost held up four fingers. 3 tech news stories a day. And then we do the Recycle Bin, which we're going to do tonight. And it's very simple. Why don't you just cut this out?
I don't know. You know what, John? I'll cut it out. You know what? Forget it. I'm leaving it in. I want to talk about a sponsor, and that's awaytravel.com. Away makes unbelievable luggage. So here's the thing. I don't travel as much as I used to. And a lot of that is because, I got kids and it's really hard to travel with kids. John, something you don't know about, right? You don't know about traveling with kids. Thank God. Because it is not easy to do so. But I used to travel a lot, and I always brought my away luggage. But what I do a lot now is that I'm taking a lot of my equipment from my studio for work because I do photo shoots, I do video stuff, and I'm using this thing as a carry for all my computer stuff. And I just drop all the stuff in there, and I beat the crap out of this luggage, by the way. I'm not gentle with this thing. Essentially, it's first-class luggage at coach prices and allows you to charge your phone at the same time. Here's a great offer. $20 off your order when you go to awaytravel.com/Andrew and use the promo code Andrew. That's awaytravel.com/Andrew and use the promo code Andrew. And this is the cool thing. So what they do is they make affordable, high-quality suitcases that you could... Oh, I got a package here as I'm talking about something. I wonder what this is. They make high-quality suitcases, and you can charge your phone. But the cool thing is it's super durable. And the material that they use, this should be... If you were to go to another manufacturer, for example, they would be really expensive, these things. But they start at $225 because they cut the middleman out. Away is always able to offer perfect luggage made with high-quality material at a much lower price compared to some of the other luxury luggage competitors. This is a great piece of luggage. The suitcase that I carry, you know, they have a carry-on, they have a bigger carry-on, they have a medium, they have a large, and they all cost less than $300, which is amazing. 2 USB ports, high-capacity batteries that allows you to charge multiple devices on the go, whether it's your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever it is. Ultra durable and yet super lightweight. Also, it's theft proof, so you have the lock on there, and it's TSA approved, which is phenomenal. Risk-free 100-day trial. So try this thing out. See how you like it and travel with it. Awaytravel.com/Andrew. Use the promo code Andrew and get $20 off your order. I want to thank Away for supporting the show. All right, John.
I was waiting for you to say that you fit your kids in the luggage.
I have not attempted that yet. I have not put them in the luggage. I have not put them in it at all.
TSA approved.
Yeah, so I got a question for you because you're younger than me. And you're hipper, and you know,
yeah.
this is how it works.
Are
you using Snapchat at all?
No.
So what?
Dead. It is dead.
It's dead, right? I mean, this is the beginning of the end of this service.
Yeah, guarantee it. Not coming back.
So what happened with them? Because you know, this is interesting because about 2 years ago they were, you know, it was very important to have a Snapchat. Everybody was doing Snapchats because they went away. You want to know
what happened to them, Andrew?
What happened?
They said no to Mark Zuckerberg's offer. They should have just let Mark Zuckerberg buy them because then he destroyed them.
Yeah, because he incorporated everything into Instagram.
He didn't even care. They put it in everything they had. They put it in WhatsApp. They put it in Facebook. They put it in Instagram. And they only needed one of those to work out. Yeah.
But why... So you use Instagram, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, and you do story mode, which is essentially what everybody does with Snapchat. So is it important for the messages to disappear anymore? I mean, that was originally why people were using it, right? They were doing naughty things on there.
Its intended purpose was for sexting.
Essentially, I don't know if that was a company's, you know, initiative and their P1s were sexters, but I don't know if...
Well, I mean, they weren't a public company right away either.
No, they weren't. But, you know, I know a lot of people that used it for that purpose, you know, because the messages disappeared. And then when it became more of a messaging service and you had all these story modes, I don't know why you would use that if you're doing story modes compared to Instagram, because it's a convoluted interface too. And I don't, you know, I still have a very different experience on Android than I do on I use it for work. I don't ever use it for my personal stuff. But if I open up Snapchat
do you want me to tell you why you're getting a different experience?
Why?
Snapchat works entirely different on Android than it does on iOS. So on iOS, Snapchat is looking through your camera.
Okay? On iOS, yes.
You with me?
Yes.
This is going to blow your mind, and you're just going to wonder why the world did this to you.
No, I know the answer to this, but tell the audience.
Okay, yeah, with Android, Snapchat isn't communicating directly with your camera. It's not seeing directly through the camera. What's happening is the camera is displaying an image on Snapchat, and Snapchat is
screen grabbing,
capturing the screen.
Yeah,
not directly from the camera.
Isn't that?
So it's compressed like twice.
Yeah. Why?
Because there's so many different models of phones, of Android phones.
I mean, but they don't support the top ones. I mean, what I was understanding is that the initial concept behind that was exactly what you said, but they were going to start supporting, like the flagships.
I think they have. I think there's a couple that I think like the Pixel, they support the Pixel's chip, but I'm not sure.
But what a crappy, what a weird way of doing it. But I don't listen. I think most people that are using Snapchat, I'm willing to bet it's heavily iOS.
And it's mostly females.
The demo is more females than males that are using Snapchat.
They're keeping this thing alive.
Yeah. But I don't know how they're making money because those ads are terrible.
They changed so they totally redesigned the app, and everyone freaked out and told them it was terrible, and they were like, nah, it's fine, you're going to have to deal with it. And then everyone left, and now they're like going back to the old design. Yeah. Not to mention that, but another reason why they failed was while Instagram is kicking their peenie in the dirt, they stopped focusing on the hardware or on the software experience. The thing that literally made Snapchat what it is. Yeah. And they tried hardware with spectacles, and that failed. They lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There was hundreds of thousands, or actually
millions. They lost millions.
Yeah, I think they lost like $400 million. But there was hundreds of thousands of spectacles still that are sitting in a warehouse somewhere that didn't sell. And their answer to that is to make a version 2 and try again.
Why? I
just don't understand.
I feel there's going to be a great, and this is my prediction, because I tend to do this a lot. Over the next 10 years, there's going to be a great rejection of social networks. I think we are entering the final phase, as Sony would phrase it. We're entering the final phase as far as unnecessary consumption. Because I have had overall a rejection of social media over the last couple of years where, if you notice, I don't really tweet much. If you notice that, I do for my brands.
If I see tweets, I know you're just sitting down on your laptop with Twitter open, and you're just typing every thought that comes in your head. And it all happens at one time.
It all happens at one time too, because I'll release like 4 tweets, and that's it for the week. I don't really Facebook. I do it to kind of consume.
Facebook can go away. It's bad.
It's bloated. It's complicated. My feed does not represent who I am at all.
Andrew, but the algorithm.
I'm going to tell you, these algorithms have ruined all these services, and I'll tell you why. You know what I want to see? I want to go, and I don't really, I had opened up the floodgates of my Facebook early on when I did it, and then I started cutting people out, and I started removing people because I wanted to be more about the people I know rather than people I don't know. But
because it became more personal.
It became more personal.
If you let someone into your Facebook, they suddenly have really deep access to you in a weird way that maybe you don't think of, that you haven't thought about before. With Facebook before, I feel like 2007-ish, 2000, or like, let's go, that 2007, 2010, it was like, it was a different platform. And I feel nowadays, like before, maybe back then, if there was like some fans on the internet that like friend requested me, I would have accepted it. But now it's weird. Like, if I accept a friend request and I don't know you, you get really deep access to me, and it's not okay.
I find it... So, Facebook has decided that I'm into 2 things only. Okay? 3 things. 1, I love food. 2, professional wrestling. And podcasts.
Of course.
This is all they know about me. So, I no longer
see... This defines you. You are those 3 things.
I'm those 3 things. And I no longer can see family member posts... friends. My Facebook feed is consumed by groups that I joined years ago. Facebook groups. They've taken over my feed. So now I'm removing all these groups that I'm in.
There's literally people on my Facebook that I 100% do not see. Like, they could post something right now. I would look at Facebook and I wouldn't see it. I have to go to their profile to see it. It's almost like I shadow banned them. It's kind of weird, but like, literally, Facebook has just decided that I don't want to see that, and I literally don't see anything from the person ever.
So I'll give an example. A friend of mine passed away a couple days ago. I should have seen that this happened. I did not see it until this morning. Like, I had no idea.
Yikes.
I haven't seen her in about 6 months. We were friends years ago, but I would have liked to know that this happened. You know what I mean? I had no way of knowing because Facebook decided that her posts are no longer important to me, and it doesn't really. I know that you could go and click on, see based on most recent, but actually, can I edit the preference here? Hold on, I'm curious. Edit preference, yeah. So I could edit the preference, and I could do to prioritize, and I could see unfollow people to hide their posts and all this stuff. But it's still convoluted. Like, I just want to see who's posting what now. I don't want to see a
most people, the average consumer, won't think to mess with their preferences. It just is how it is.
No, but the algorithms, it tries to know you and it fails at it. Instagram is the same thing. I don't care about I was getting Mother's Day posts a week after Mother's Day. I mean, it's so convoluted, but they do it for their benefit. This is a way to trick businesses into giving them money more than anything else. Oh, you want your, and I mean, you've spoken about this. Twitter does it. Instagram does it. If you are a business, right? Let's say I'm a food blogger, and I put out a post, and I have 70,000 followers. Not all of those people will see my post ever.
No,
a fraction of those people will see it. They want me.
It's the worst on Facebook. If I post something from a business page, like 1% of the audience will see it.
And I don't think people understand this. And that's, by the way, you know what that is? That's pay for play, right?
Yeah.
That's pay for play. And listen, it's a business. I get it. I understand. That's how they make money. But this is a very complicated scenario here where you think you're going to create a Facebook page. They want the money. They want to make money off of it.
Right.
And it affects, that concept affects my personal usage. I'm not even complaining about my posts. I'm talking about, I want to see what's happening now, and I think it's so complicated the way that they figure this out, the algorithm, where it's unnecessary. I just, like right now, I have a post 5/22, and this person's posting about having a migraine. I think we're in this final phase.
Do you hear YouTube's doing it?
With what? What are they doing now?
Andrew, your subscription feed.
Yes.
They're doing it to the subscription feed. They're going to tailor it personalized to you. You will no longer see videos uploaded in chronological order. You're going to see them in the order that YouTube thinks you're going to watch them.
Why? So what happens if it's
topical? We know we can trust the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, you know what's happened to the YouTube algorithm? I'm going to tell you something. So, something I figured out. So, it's not... So, I'm on YouTube, for example, right? And my wife is on YouTube also with her own account. And let's say you stay over my house a couple days and you're on YouTube as well. And, it just people are constantly in and out and they're using YouTube in my IP. You know what happens? It's no longer tailored to me. It's tailored to my IP.
It's awful.
Did you know that?
You watch one Jake Paul video and suddenly
I watch
everything.
One top 15 countdown, and now I have spooky videos all over my feed with that miserable guy
talking about that.
Going. You know what I'm talking about, right? And number 15,
foot lettuce.
Foot lettuce. What is that? And you know what? I don't even think he's a real person. I think he's a project from YouTube, and Google's going to come out 6 months from now and be like, by the way, Google Assistant, this is it. This has been compiled totally in the cloud.
This was Google Duplex the whole time.
This was Google Duplex the whole time. This is all bullshit. I don't understand how YouTube does their algorithm, because stuff that my wife watches on her account will now pop up on my recommended feed. Yeah. I watched one goddamn air balloon video. And now that's all I have is fucking air balloons everywhere. I mean, I just want to watch one video, man. I don't want to know. I don't want to dive deep into it. And, the problem with me is I tend to go down the rabbit hole. I go to bed.
It gets weird, man.
I got my glass of wine.
Get to the weird side of YouTube at night.
Oh, dude, I go down that path because I got, I have my glass of wine. I take a muscle relaxer because my back hurts. And now, next thing I know, I have 500 flat earth recommendations happening. I'm having Alex Jones screaming about fluoride in the water. And I'm having earthquakes are not real. They're man-made and Nazis on the moon. This is how my
that's
YouTube...
what they put them.
Dude, I just want to see the videos that I want to see. I just stop guessing what I'm into. I just want to be left alone. You know what I miss? You know what I miss on YouTube? You go to YouTube and it says, these are the top videos people are watching. This was remember when you could go and be like, this is a top video for the week. This is a top video for the month.
Yeah.
What happened to
that's what they're doing with trending. But trending is
trending is all bullshit too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because I guarantee
you can't prove it, but
I don't think every trending video is a makeup tutorial. I'm sorry.
It's also not. You realize how like a movie trailer comes out, or like Stephen Colbert releases a video and suddenly it's trending.
Number one. Yeah, Stephen Colbert.
It's got like 300,000 views and it's trending.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert is the #1 YouTuber right now. I don't believe that that's trending. You know, it's manipulation. And I get why they do what they do, but some of it is also, you know, like, I don't like political manipulation. Like, I don't want politics being infiltrated into my YouTube. I don't want that.
Well, specifically what YouTube wants to push.
Yeah. Listen, man, you know, and it's specifically what YouTube is pushing. It's specifically what videos YouTube is pushing. I don't like the manipulation. I think it should be an even playing field for anybody and everybody. If you're creating great content and people are into it, guess what? You should be featured. That is what the masses are watching. That is what the masses want.
Yeah.
And my daughter's home. You want to come say hello?
Hey.
Your face is red, kiddo. Come here. This is the end of the show. We're approaching the end, so she does not want to be on camera. She's running away. I think that, and I guess, are we going to talk about this on your show tonight? What are we talking about tonight? Let's talk about that. What are we talking about tonight?
I think the Apple issue we'll have to dive deeper into.
Okay, because I'm probably going to be drunk for your show.
Findings.
I'm going to be drunk for your show.
That works.
Okay. So let's wrap it up. Do you want to do 10 minutes of a post show?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's do that. Guys, thank you for watching. Next week, I'm back on Tuesday with Paul Thurrott. I want John to be a regular on this. Maybe John will become a regular.
I am a regular.
No. Like, you'll be like, maybe you'll do a bonus show with me every week, and maybe we can make that on Patreon, and then we can make a couple bucks.
Sounds good to me. We need to do a show together anyway.
I know. We got to talk about this. All right, guys. That's it for this week. See you later.